This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
The Veterinary Feed Directive took effect January 1, 2017. That's what we hear out there, but in actuality, the Veterinary Feed Directive has been with us since 1996 through the Animal Drug Availability Act. What changed in January of 2017 was that the new labels took effect. These labels said that you as a producer must obtain veterinary authorization to use medically important antibiotics in the feed of food animals. The other thing that changed was that all water medications now require veterinary authorization for food animal use if they are a medically important antibiotic. This is in the form of a prescription. So you've noticed some changes at your local farm supply store or feed store in that unless they are able to take a prescription, are registered as a distributor of prescription drugs, they are not able to sell you water medications such as the Tetracyclines. For the feed medications that are medically important antibiotics, you've noticed that you must have a veterinary feed directive in order to obtain them. As a producer, you have specific requirements on record keeping, and you are required to follow the veterinary feed directive to the letter. There is no extra label use allowed of in-feed antimicrobials, which are under the guidance of a veterinary feed directive and are medically important. By now, many of you have had some in-depth conversations with your veterinarians about previous uses which may have been necessary to change. For example, foot rot and pinkeye use of chlortetracycline to use to try to prevent or control those diseases is not on the label, and therefore your veterinarian cannot legally authorize those. Your veterinarian has probably also talked to you about the difference between hand-fed and free choice feed and the requirement for a free choice feed to have not only an approved drug but an approved formulation. I encourage us all to continue to strive to have more approved free choice feed formulations so that we may have approved uses out there in the field. So I'm thankful that veterinarians and their clients have been able to work together. I appreciate the support of the producer organizations in moving the Veterinary Feed Directive forward and having these conversations. We need to keep in mind that although this is more regulation, which isn't always welcome, one of the outcomes of this is hopefully the increase in antibiotic stewardship, where we really think about our antibiotic uses and work together to preserve their use into the future for both people and the animals we take care of.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.